Before a war breaks out, major powers often make strange moves, finding some pretext, clinging to it, and arrogating to themselves the right to determine the fate of other nations. Nazi Germany, a name that rose to prominence during World War II with its brutality and dictatorship, harbored ambitions to conquer and dominate the world. So how did the Germans do it, and how did they begin? Let's explore a little about the first strike of Nazi Germany. Chapter 1. The beginning of the first attack. August 23, 1939, a crucial historical milestone. On August 23, 1939, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a non-aggression pact that dramatically altered the course of World War II. The pact promised neutrality between Germany and the Soviet Union, allowing both powers to avoid direct conflict. It included secret protocols dividing Eastern Europe into spheres of influence, specifically Poland, the Baltic states, and parts of Eastern Europe. This agreement paved the way for Germany's invasion of Poland on September 1, 1939, which directly triggered World War II. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact saved Germany from a two-front war, allowing for rapid military action in the West. For the Soviet Union, it provided additional time to rearm and redeploy forces before occupying eastern Poland. However, this treaty was only temporary. It collapsed when Germany launched Operation Barbarossa against the Soviet Union in June 1941. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact of August 23, 1939, marked a decisive diplomatic step, paving the way for the first blows of World War II and laying the groundwork for early military campaigns across Europe. Chapter 2. First Shot. At 4:45 a.m. on September 1, 1939, the German battleship Schleswig-Holstein opened fire on the Westerplatte fortress near the city of Danzig, present-day Gdańsk. Simultaneously, German forces launched a coordinated attack on Poland from the West Germany, the Northeast Prussia, and the south from Slovakia, a German ally. The Nazis employed the Blitzkrieg tactic, marking their first large-scale deployment. They used numerous panzer divisions with hundreds of tanks, primarily Panzer I and II, and a few Panzer III and IV to rapidly break through defenses. Meanwhile, the German Luftwaffe heavily bombed Polish airfields, railways, communication centers, cities, and civilians. Following closely behind II's territory were motorized infantry divisions with tens of thousands of mechanized support vehicles, forming a lightning-fast offensive force that quickly breached Polish defenses and surrounded the enemy army. The number of German tanks and armored vehicles used by Germany in this war was enormous. Germany deployed numerous armored and mechanized infantry divisions to Poland. These units were equipped with approximately 2,000 tanks, primarily Panzer I and Tobral, along with supporting armored vehicles and tens of thousands of trucks for transporting mechanized infantry. The power of German mechanized infantry Blitzkrieg was a decisive factor, allowing them to breach defensive lines, encircle, and quickly destroy Polish forces. Using armored spearheads to open the way and mechanized infantry to provide support from behind, the objective of the Nazi campaign was to strike quickly and forcefully, paralyzing the enemy before they had a chance to react. Chapter 3. Regarding the Polish Army's response. The Polish army fought bravely but faced many disadvantages. With less modern military equipment, a dispersed and fragmented army, the Air Force was destroyed early on, and their ability to resist German air raids with artillery and bombing was almost zero. As a consequence, within the first few days, Poland lost control of its airspace. Many cities such as Warsaw, Krakow, and Dnie were heavily bombed and devastated, resulting in mass civilian casualties. Thus, we can see that the objectives set by Nazi Germany were partially achieved, as within the first few days of the war, Germany had almost completely neutralized Polish airports and gained control of the airspace. This timeline marks the peak of World War II. Just 2 days later, on September 3, 1939, 2 days after Germany launched the Polish War, Britain and France declared war on Germany. This was achieved through an ultimatum sent by Britain and France to Germany, demanding the withdrawal of troops from Poland following Germany's invasion on September 1, 1939. When Germany refused, they officially declared war, fulfilling their agreement to support Poland. However, after declaring war on Germany, these two allied nations did not take any decisive action to support a full-scale war to help Poland confront the Germans. They did not launch a major military campaign to support Poland, a period often sarcastically referred to by the people as the Strange War. Chapter 4: One Country Confronting Two Superpowers. On September 17, 1939, the Soviet Union attacked Poland from the east. Based on the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, August 23, 1939, signed with Nazi Germany, Poland, having failed to stop the advances of Nazi Germany, now had to brace itself against the encroachment of the Soviet Union from the east. This war was called by the Soviets the Operation to Liberate Western Belarus and Western Ukraine. This war was fought with the goal of reclaiming the territory that Poland had previously seized from the Russian Empire during the Russo-Polish War of 1919 to 1921, gaining approximately 135,000 square kilometers after the Treaty of Riga, 1921, which is believed to belong to present-day Ukraine and Belarus. In the battle with Poland in the east, the Soviet Red Army, with its overwhelming numbers against the Polish defenders, quickly achieved its objectives. Despite the Polish government's orders to minimize military engagement with the Red Army, several skirmishes broke out, resulting in between 6,000 and 7,000 Polish casualties and approximately 3,000 killed and 10,000 wounded for the Soviet side. Around 230,000 or more Polish soldiers were taken prisoner. The Soviet offensive, which the Soviet Politburo called Operation Liberation, led to the unification of millions of Poles, as well as Ukrainians and Western Belarusians, into the Ukrainian and Belarusian republics. During the existence of the Polish People's Republic, the offensive was considered a sensitive, almost taboo subject, and was often omitted from official history in order to preserve the spirit of eternal friendship among members of the Eastern Bloc. Chapter 5: The End of the First Shot. Within a month of German attack, Poland was recaptured by the Soviet Union, losing its former control over the eastern territories. On September 27, 1939, Warsaw, the Polish capital, was officially captured by German forces. On October 6, 1939, the attack on Poland ended, with Polish territory occupied by Nazi Germany, while the eastern regions were annexed by the Soviet Union. Although Poland did not officially announce its surrender, and the government did not publicly announce its decision, Germany had gained complete control, and the Soviet Union had successfully annexed several eastern regions. Germany ruled Poland through a German governor-general. After gaining control, Germany organized persecutions of Jewish people, and Polish Jews were brutally persecuted and exterminated until Germany and the Soviet Union turned against each other shortly thereafter. Germany lost Poland to a Soviet counteroffensive in 1944. During the occupation, Poland lost more than 20% of its population, and this war also marked the end of the Second Polish Republic. The swift victory of the German army in this offensive laid the groundwork for the term Blitzkrieg, referring to Germany's war strategy at the time. Chapter 5: The End of the First Shot. The German invasion of Poland in 1939 marked the official start of World War II. With a series of dramatic events occurring within the first month of the invasion, these events revealed many political and military aspects of both the Allied and Nazi sides. On the Nazi side, we see fundamental changes in military strategy as they adopted a swift and powerful attack, striking before the enemy was ready, aiming to gain a decisive advantage. However, this also triggered one of the most devastating wars in human history. On the Allied side, we see the weakness of the Allied governments, who could only issue ultimatums without inflicting any further military damage on Nazi Germany to help Poland defend its borders. The Polish War was a significant historical event, showcasing not only changes in localized warfare tactics, but also revealing weaknesses still present in major powers. Following this war, I, a history enthusiast, learned a valuable lesson. Nothing is more precious than peace. The loss suffered by all of humanity is exemplified by the Holocaust. Pain and loss are what war brings. Let us behave appropriately and show respect for one another to strive for a peaceful world. This is a compilation video I made containing many personal opinions and not mentioning politics or engaging in discussions. I hope to receive your support in future videos. Thank you, everyone.